Hello, I'm Richard and welcome to my Blender to Unity Tower Defense game tutorial. In this part today we're going to be texturing out this little fella. This is the guy that I think we called the alien spacecraft. I'm never quite sure that I was happy with what it ended up looking like, but it was intended to be the spacecraft like the aliens used in The Simpsons, but I don't know if it looks like that or not, but who cares. Let's texture this fella out. The usual thing applies. If we just quickly go File New, I'll discard this one because I haven't done anything with it yet. If we go in here, you'll probably find it under your Tower Defense Models Alien Craft, so let's just click on that and click Open. Just set to 1024, doesn't matter for now, and click OK. Alright, and that's brought it in. I will do the usual baking of the textures, so if I go to the texture settings, click on Bake Textures, and we will do the 1024 by 1024, setting the anti-aliasing to 4x4. I will click Bake Textures. I'll pause that and come back when it's finished. Okay, so that's finished texturing. So what I'm thinking about doing here is what I'm probably going to do is create these, what would you call them, these sections here. I'm going to call them the windows, and I'm going to create a nice glossy metallic look and feel to those ones, and then the rest of it I think I'll go for a sort of a dark bluish colour, stick some normals around these edges here. It seems to be defaulting to the log file whenever I load Substance Painter at the moment. I'm not sure if that's something I've done. So let's just click on the shelf. One of the things I did was to create a very basic looking sort of normal, height alpha, and I've called it Sci-Fi Indent 01, so I'd like to actually use that in this project. So I'll just drag that in. If anyone's interested in getting hold of these, please let me know. We'll import this into the shelf, because I think I'd like to use this on more than one occasion. Can I rename it? What do I call it? I've already got one called Line Ridge, look, so I could probably use that, but Sci-Fi Indent, let's see if it'll let me rename it. It will not let me rename it. That's fine. So I've got a couple now that I can play around with. We've baked the texture, so what I'm going to do, let's just start with the windows. This should be nice and easy. We'll delete the basic layer and create a fill layer, and we will add our all famous black mask to it. And then let's just pick a colour to start with so that we know what we're working with. I think I'm going to go with a let's get rid of all these ones for now. We can play with that in a second. We'll just go with a yellowy colour, I think, or at least a... Okay, I was just about to say, why isn't that working? It's because I put the black mask on. Let's quickly get some white and get some opaque sections to this by clicking on our fill layer, clicking on the what's it called? It's called the polygon fill, and we'll go for the UV islands. That should be fine if we click that. Here we go. So we can just go around and clicking all four of these. I think I made a mistake here, by the way. There is very little value in having such a thin line across there. If anything, I could have just textured this out, with a height map, and then just given that a near similar impression. So I've added an unnecessary amount of faces to this. I think on balance, I wish I'd insetted a little bit more, extruded or scaled in a bit more to give it a real thick-looking edge here. I haven't done that. If you want to go back and make that change now, I'm not going to do that. For this, I think it'll be barely noticeable anyway. It's just the extra poly count that we've got to consider. Okay, so we've selected our windows in this alpha channel. So what we'll do now is we will start playing around and making it look a little bit more metallic. In fact, what I'm tempted to do here is actually create a folder. So let's quickly do that, and we'll call this folder Windows, and we will drag our fill layer, and we'll just for now we'll just call that yellow, and we will create a black mask in the windows, and then clicking on this one we'll copy that mask and then paste into mask, there we go, and then that means we can delete this one. Delete mask or remove mask, where are you? There you are. Okay, so it's done the same thing, it's just applying to everything in this folder now, which means we can apply multiple channels to it, multiple layers to it, excuse me. So let's just quickly have a play around and try and make this look a lot more shiny. So let's do that now. We'll start off with the metal and the roughness. So I'll whack the metallic up and the roughness down there. Okay, well that's obviously way too reflective, so obviously you don't want to see through it because there's nothing inside, so we need to say something quite reflective. And what I might try is just one of these noises under the metallic here. I might just go for one of my favourites, like black and white spots or something like that. There we go. That's pretty harsh. Might want to bring that down a touch, but I've got to say I kind of like it. It's rustic looking, and you can't see in, but it's got enough reflection that it looks like there might be something inside. I'm tempted just to put the roughness up a bit more. I'll let you play around and decide what values you like there. I'm pretty happy with that from the outset. I'm not going to add any height map bump to it because it's it's meant to be a Windows surface. So let's keep it at that. Good, we're off to a good start. So let me create another folder above here, and we'll call this the main craft or something, shall we? Click that up there, and we'll call it main craft. And to be honest with you, we wouldn't need to apply a black mask to this, bearing in mind that it's everything else. In fact, what we could do is make this everything else and then drag the windows above it so that it overwrites it. But I think I won't do that. I think I will select everything else. So let's do that now. I'll add a black mask, as always, and then go to this section here. Let's quickly put a fill layer inside it, so that we know which bits are being added. Let's quickly call this base settings. Okay, and we will start to colour this thing out. So let's give that a funky material like a brass or something like that. It's not working for me. That's because I haven't selected anything in the black mask, and again it's UV island, so we should be able to crack on with this. Rather annoyingly, I'm going to have to click on these thin edges. Oh, it does go all the way around us, so that's good news. Let's just crack on. Obviously I'm not going to use this permanently. I'll just drag these around. In fact, it's quite hard to differentiate, so I might just pick something like black or something just to... Sorry. Black. Be kind to me. There we go. And click back up here and just keep cracking on with these islands. Pick the top one. Oh, not that. I actually rather like the look of that. Okay, I'm not sure how that's happened. We'll set that back in a second. Back to white, so let's quickly spin across to black, excuse me, just to get rid of it. It didn't. Thank you. So I hope that hasn't done the other side. No, it hasn't. Okay, back to white. Click that bit until everything's selected. I think that's everything. We didn't do the underside, did we, to try and save ourselves a few polygons? I actually rather like that as a starting element. I think that's kind of where we want to go. Let's just have a quick look and see what colour. If we click on that material, artificial leather. It's amazing what you can get away with, even though it's not actually meant to be looked like. Obviously this isn't meant to be a leather spacecraft, but it gives that effect. Something like it. So something like, a rustic sort of metal, base metal. I might try and change the colour. What have they gone for? I think they've gone for a kind of a reddy thing, haven't they? So let's just play around with it. Obviously that's too much. I don't know. There we go. I'm not going to play around too much. That looks fine to me. What I then did was I added a bit of kind of musty dirt to it. So let's just add another fill layer on top. A fill layer, and we will add a black mask to it, and we'll just quickly call this dirt. Okay, and yeah, for now that's fine. Let's just quickly add a generator. So right click it and click add generator, and we'll go to the MG dirt. Okay, that's crazy too much. As I see that yellow thing, I'm thinking maybe that's too shiny as well, but we'll come back to that in a second. Let's just lower these levels down a bit. Actually, well, before we do that, let's just pick a decent material for it. So let's try a few out, see if anything grabs you. This is, like I say, this is where I do believe the Substance Painter does shine, because it does allow you to very quickly just try all these different ones out. I like that. It's got like an what's it called, an iodized look. I'm noticing it's taking a bit of time to process this, so let me quickly pause it and I will come back when it's finished. I don't want this to crash on me, so I'll let it continue. Cheers now, bye bye. Hi, welcome back. Yeah, so I did this actually earlier on. I noticed that when I clicked on Fabric Rough, it took a heck of a long time to process it, and I don't know why it did that. I'm hoping that won't happen again. Let's quickly try something else and try some of these more weird ones, something like nickel pure. Yeah, I actually kind of like that. Obviously it's way too strong right now, but we can maybe stick with that. Let's have a play around, see what we can do with the settings for that material. We'll just set it to triplanar. Click clicking on here, yeah, that dirt there. Sorry, no, it's the dirt layer, excuse me. Sorry, you click on dirt, here we go. And let's have a little look, just lower the dirt levels. We'll probably lower the strength of the colour as well. So use triplane, I will set it on, not going to make a huge amount of difference. Whatever, grunge amount, sway it up and down until we find something we like. Maybe that, yeah. Grunge scale. Okay, I see what that's doing. Okay, let's put that back to 201. Okay, let's go with that. And then what we'll quickly do is we'll click on here. The base color channel is set, so let's set that to linear dodge. Yeah, and then drag that down until it's not quite so brutal. Okay, want something there, don't we? I want it to be somewhere like that. Okay, I mean, I'm not even sure what this is anymore. What I was going to do as well was add some, I don't know what you would call them really, side lights, side knobs all around here. It's going to look a little bit weird until I explain to you what it actually is. So let's do that now. We could go around one by one and stamp them in, but what I'll probably do is if I press F1 and go to my my maps, I can pick any of these. What I will actually do is I will go into the main craft and I will click on a regular layer, and we'll just call this side buttons. Okay, and we'll actually alphas is correct, is that's the shape that we want. We want that to be nice and hard, not too hard. Okay, it's only going to affect the colour and heights. Okay, and what we can do is if I just start here, it's going to need to be a bit smaller than that. And if I just click here and then shift control and then click again, okay, it hasn't spaced it out well enough, and I think, unless I'm mistaken, I need to get quite high up with the size, with the spacing. So let's just try 100. And I'm just clicking on here. It doesn't matter which channel. You can see I'm still not spaced enough. So let's try 120. I'm just going to keep kind of poking numbers around. Shift control and left click. Still not enough, is it? So let's try 200. I don't think I'm adjusting the height, by the way. Okay, that's a bit better. Let's quickly spin down to the height and make it go outwards. I'm tempted to pick something that is a little funky on here. I don't know what that even is, but let's just try it. There you go. It's kind of sticking out, isn't it? It's way too white. Let's blend that in by making the base color. Let's try linear dodge. That's good, and then dragging it down until it's kind of showing out, but not too much. Now I'd imagine that we're missing a button or two here, because if you can see across here, there's probably going to be a gap on it on one of the ends. Let's just spin round. There it is. Now do I go for 1 or 2? Let's just go for 1, shall we? About there, ish. Yes, you can see this. I think this is an error on Substance Painter's side. It's not done a great job across the seam there. It's close enough for me. In fact, what we could probably do is just maybe do you think anyone's ever going to notice that? I don't think so. Certainly not from a distance. That's good. Right, I worked on doing those side indents. Let's have a little play and see what we can do with those now. Before we do that, let's quickly stick something on the top, shall we? Or should we change the colour of the top? Well, let's stick a normal on there. Let's stick a normal on there first of all. So we'll call this top normal. Okay, make sure that default hard is set, and then that pretty much gives us all of the base settings we need. I click on that just in case I haven't explained it before. Default hard, there's all these jitters. If you don't select default hard, then some of them have default jitter amounts. Can you see? So all these different angle jitters and stuff, which means when you stamp it down you'll get unpredictable results, which is often the intention, but not when you want it exactly in place. So we're actually going to remove the alpha as well, because under the normal maps you need to unselect height as well. Yeah, under the normal maps you want the whole image. If you select an alpha, I'll show you what happens, but let's just pick an alpha, normal, excuse me, and we want it to be a round one because it's at the top. Let's try handle 16. Pressing F2 will go into full view, and press F6 to go into orthographic. If I just scale that up, okay. Let's try about there. How does that look? You know, I'm going to go with it for now because I can't think of anything better to do with it. Yeah, I like it. I'm going to go with it. I am going to go with that. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some side bars to these sections here. So let's quickly do that now. Let's add a new layer. We'll call this, I'll call it side bar blocks. Yeah, I'm going to call it blocks. I'm not even happy about that name, but you'll see where I'm going with this in a moment. We're going to pick the regular alpha. It's not going to affect the normal, it's just going to affect the height and the colour. I didn't mean to do that, and let's have it as a nice dark colour like that, and it's going to be going up. Right, and what we do, if we get back, I'm going to go back to here again, and I'm going to go to viewer settings, wireframe, and you'll see why this is all going to happen in a minute. Let's just double check the spacing. That's fine, 15. In fact, we can set that down to 0, because what I'm going to do is if I just zoom in on one of these, I don't know which one it is showing over here, but let's scale that right down, something like that. I'm just going to click there, and I'm going to shift control and click up to that kind of top nodule there, and you can see what it's done. If I quickly turn that off on wireframe, you can see it's sort of put a line straight across there. So let's do that a few more times. I set to this one, not exactly sure where it starts, it's about there. Shift control, left click there, and then I think I did the other two horizontal, which is not a problem. We'll just click there and shift control click and click there. Let's just drag it across first. No, so and then click there, shift control click. Okay, and that should mean that all of those have got a little bar along them. Good. Now let's finally see if we can add. Quickly turn that wireframe off, have a look at it, see how it looks. Yeah, but this is looking okay. It's not. It's nothing amazing, is it? I was tempted to use the emission channel just to kind of make this thing glow and do some stuff, but I think on balance, I think I'll just let it wander across like a sort of silent and dark and deadly looking alien craft. So the final thing is to get this line ridge. So let's just go back to the windows, yellow, and we will add a regular layer, and we'll call it line ridge. No, let's call it indent, because I think I wanted to use the new one that I'd created, Sci-Fi Indent 01. If I go to alphas here, they are in alphabetical, so I should be able to find it. It's not always where you expect it. There we go. When you first install it, although it looks as though they may have solved that issue. So if we go to the height map, that's right, and we want it to be indented. The alpha is correct. Okay, there's no angle or flow jitter. Right, we're in a good shape. Now the one thing I did notice is that I didn't do a great job, quickly spin back to wireframe, of keeping these things level. So this might be a bit of guesswork here. Let's scale that right up. Okay, and then we'll just doing that in there. Slightly annoyingly, that hasn't. Let's just see if we can go to alignment camera and see if that's going to fix that problem. No, algorithmic. I know you're watching this. Look at that. So we can start taking some guesses. Look at that. I got that quite right, didn't I? So I'll just start angling this around. That's actually rather close to what I was after. There you go. It's creating a sort of an indent in there, which I like. I like the look of. So let's carry that on. Whoa. Let's just drag this. Excuse me, and do the same here. Okay, I think we're okay with that. And then stop doing that. We'll do that here. I'm going to change the not you. Control. Just keep clicking around until I find what I'm after. Now it's not turning. Turn on me. There we go. And finally you, which I can see needs a bit more work on the turning thing. So let's just guess about there. Like so. Let's just have a look and see how that's going. Does that look level on most of them? It doesn't look terrible, does it? Let's quickly turn wireframe off. Press F2. Okay, so we've got a sort of an indentation thing going on there as well. I think that kind of we could add some more, couldn't we? We could add maybe a line indent in there as well. Why don't we just keep going? Let's just do it. Let's just pick a line. Where are you, line? I know there's an alpha here. I'll go for line thin, and then I will change it to 90 degrees on the angle here. And now we don't have to go onto the material. We can do it straight in here, I think. Scale it down a bit. Alt Shift. Just drag that round. Let's just play around with this until we get something. I'll stick mirror mode on so we don't have to do this too often. I'm going to change the alignment to tangent wrap again. Let's just get that to be exactly 3 faces high, and then we'll just click in the middle. Yeah, I like. We'll do the same here. Okay, because it's on tangent wrap, I can it'll kind of bend it round the corner for me. I'll do the same. Boom. How are we looking on that? Yeah, it's going slightly below, isn't it? Which is surprising me, but that's okay. All right, guys, I'm gonna, just because I'm in the mood, I'm gonna do one below it as well. It's not in the centre though, is it? It is on that one. That one isn't. That one doesn't. Yeah. Might get away with it. That one's centred. That one's ish centred. Okay. All right. We're going to go with that. Okay. I'm going to stick with it and hope, and as a rough model, you guys should go in and tweak this. I'll probably go in and just make that. If I just quickly spin back down to the yellow, I might just make the roughness a touch more rough. It seems very shiny at the top there, if you see what I'm saying. I do want it to look like a mirror though. It's a very tight balance. Let's quickly, if we go to the mirror channel, metallic channel, excuse me, and just start bringing these values down. Let's just see what happens when you do this. Maybe. Yeah, I'm liking it. I'm going to go with it because it's pretty damn close and it looks kind of cool, doesn't it now? Okay, this is, I think, from an Alien perspective, this is going to be something that's obviously going to be a very hard shell, and it's going to be tough to beat for a machine gun, but perhaps something like the missile launcher can do some damage on this one. Alright, so with that, let's get this saved. Control S. I already correct one earlier on. We'll overwrite that now and click on save. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. And we'll call this a done deal. I do like the way this looks. I encourage you to add some more layers, play around with it, tweak it as you see fit, but for now I'm going to actually call that a done job for the Alien craft. Like I say, most of these are going to be seen from sort of at best sort of that sort of size, so feel free to, in fact you should go and play around a lot more and make it look great, but I'm gonna get these tutorials finished and start working on the Unity stuff. So in the next one we're going to finish off with the final Alien spacecraft, which is the flying saucer, and we'll get that actually completed, and then from there we will work on the Unity script. So that's something to look forward to. Thank you for watching. Again, as always, I do appreciate the likes and subscribes. I'm working on a subscriber based model, so the feedback I've had has been fantastic, so thank you so much. I will look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. Cheers now. Bye bye.